And I want to talk a little bit about intent, because there was a lot of discussion from the defense about intent. How do we determine someone's intent? For aggravated child abuse, it has to be that they maliciously punished, willfully tortured, or willfully caged. Those are intentional actions. We have to prove that the actions that they took were intentional, that he intentionally and purposely put him in that room, in that structure.
Objection, misstatement of the law.
Overruled.
That it wasn't an accident. That's the intention. That he willfully tortured, that he maliciously punished. Not every idea that was in his head. So how do we determine as a jury intent? We look to the evidence. You can make reasonable inferences from the evidence, and we look to his actions and then the things that he said in those circumstances. So let's look at the defendant's actions. That he did not give the victim a room in the house. He hired a contractor specifically to build this. He specified no windows, 8x8, lights controlled from the outside, lock, and a deadbolt from the outside. No bathroom, and he put that bucket in there. Each one of those steps are intentional, specific, deliberate acts. It's not an accident that this happened like this. We know exactly what he intended to do to his son. He set up the room. He put the camera in there. And then he forced the child to use a bucket. This is a screenshot from January 19th at 6:46 a.m. where he has to use the bucket. He had been in the room since 9:12 p.m. the night before. And this happened again and again. And in the morning, on one of the videos, you can hear the defendant tell him to take out the bucket and say, your neighbors don't need to see your piss bucket. From the outside, everything looked okay, but what was happening inside that room was abuse. We see that the defendant's repeated actions to socially and physically isolate the child. Over and over and over again for hours last week, we watched Ronan alone in his room eating. And Dr. Myers told you about the impact of that type of social and physical isolation. His actions to take away every little step and bit of autonomy that he had no control over the temperature even in the room.
Okay.
Did you turn the air on in your room?
Yes.
Are you supposed to touch that?
Did you hear Baba?
Yes.
Did you hear his question?
No.
Are you supposed to touch air conditioning?
No.
Why did you touch it?
It was getting hot.
I don't give a shit if it's getting hot. You're a tough guy. You don't touch the air conditioning. I'll deal with you tomorrow on that.
You know, in opening statement, defense counsel said that there was just a design flaw in the room. It's not a flaw. These are intentional choices. This is what he wanted to happen. This is what the environment that he intentionally subjected his son to. An environment that no reasonable person would think was appropriate or acceptable.